At the center of performance is the opportunity to practice communication skills that are critical to advancement: speaking, listening, and learning. The task of memorizing an entire script is daunting, creating a high barrier of entry into the performing arts. This hasn't always been the case. Paper was costly and in short supply during Shakespeare's days. To learn their lines, actors would be given cue cards with their lines and the lines of the actor performing before them. This freed performers from the mental burden of memorizing the entire script. And an understanding of the script was built directly out of the relationships created between the performers and their lines. We're using a similar method with CueCannon to shift the performance industry from rote learning to a more active, engaged learning. We're also interested in the potential that blockchain has to democratize roles of cultural gatekeepers, and to be truer to the entrepreneurial and interdisciplinary spirit of performing artists. So we've embarked on this challenge. How do we make performances into less of a production? We recognized right away that this has many applications as a learning tool, from high school classrooms to inclusion trainings. But for this hackathon, we are focusing on the scenario of rehearsing for a live theatrical production. We designed CueCannon around these user goals: selecting and casting a production, rehearsing with a cue. We're also designing the app for authors and spectators' experiences in a future version. We're really excited about tackling the artist's compensation and accessibility for people with disabilities, including audio descriptions for specific cues, for example. We'll first walk through a collaborator's experience. When the performer is ready to rehearse, they go to their cue. They immediately see where the cue is in the script. If they aren't the one speaking, they'll see a waiting screen. When it's their cue, the screen will change to show their line. They have the option of reading notes, adding notes, and either advancing or going back in the cue. They can then go to the production screen and read any of their notes for the production. They also have the option of filtering and archiving notes. From the home screen, the maestro can search for a play they would like to rehearse. They select the production they want. They can then cast the production, either by manually adding collaborators or by auto-casting. All notes are visible to everyone in the production, encouraging 360 collaboration and transparency. The DAP peer-to-peer protocols in CueCannon are key to sharing notes and cues in this way without centralized incentives. Here are some of the challenges we ran into. First is what we're calling production permanence. In other words, managing user data and maintaining histories of user interactions so that a user can access their cues and notes over multiple sessions. And we will need to do a lot more work to allow authors and curators to upload new script content. This will need to address a number of challenges, including preventing plagiarism and providing accurate transcriptions for scripts which may be formatted in any number of ways. And artists are too commonly asked to work for little or for nothing, and we want artists to get paid. So we need to explore incentive structures that equitably compensate artists for their work. And finally, the Web3 ecosystem uses very different terminology from the world of nonprofit theater. Compelling UX writing will be key here to bridge that gap. So I'd like to share some of our next steps. In the span of the hackathon, we've developed a version of the app without production permanence. For next steps, we will conduct usability testing on our prototype in English and Spanish-speaking performing arts communities in order to validate and improve on the experience that would allow the user to select, cast, add notes to, and rehearse multiple productions. We're very grateful for this opportunity to collaborate at ETHDenver, and we're looking forward to what's next. If you want to connect with us, here's how you can get a hold of us.